Welcome back to the channel.
Today we are going to go check out some Hawaiian history at the Bishop Museum.
So if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe.
Come get lost with us.
First stop at the museum, they have one of these big, I think they're called Moai faces outside?
I'm sure we'll learn.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll learn.
So this is the Bishop Museum, and the Bishop Museum was created by the Bishop family, whose wife was one of like the last remaining queens. I don't know her exact name, but I was kind of looking into the history of this museum. So we decided to come here today instead of the Polynesian Cultural Center for reasons maybe we'll discuss in a podcast, but yeah, we're excited to go check it out.
Made it to the Bishop Museum. Here's what it looks like from the outside. Made it to the inside. Oh, the calf's under construction. Look at that building. That's really cool. 1899 they built that. And that's so you start out right here, and then right next to that's the planetarium. So that's like the gift shop and planetarium over here. And we'll go explore. Get this. That's called the Great Lawn. Mm-hmm. So this building that we're approaching apparently was where they used to train the leaders. So you would come here and be trained to be a leader of the island.
And this means house.
Kahale means house?
Hele is house.
Hele.
Yeah.
I like how Nasa tries to pronounce this. Let us know in the comments how bad she is.
I'm so bad here what this is.
It does have an audio tour online. Let me check that out as we're going through. They also have a video tour here. Huh. Okay. Let me check that out later too. Apparently the kids tour is like they have two snails that are the, I guess, family? Macy was right at the beginning when she said that this was founded by the last remaining of Kamehameha. What did you just find out?
So this hall is on the National Registry of Historic Places, and the building cost approximately $62,000 and was paid by the founders. And it opened in 1903.
1903. We've made it to the first hall. This is what we're looking at. Let's go take a look around. You were saying about these pillars on the first floor?
So the pillars and the railings on each of the floor have a different Hawaiian motif. The first floor, which is where we're at, it has a Malay design that is of the kukui nuts and leaves that adorn all the capitals. And the kukui nuts were often burned for their illumination. And then the second floor pillars have kapa, which is called bark cloth, with uli, which is breadfruit, on the capitals, and while the second floor railings feature the Hawaiian coat of arms. On the third floor, the railings and capitals have a kalo taro motif, which is like a potato vegetable, and the kalo plant was the firstborn child of the gods and the elder brother to the Hawaiian people, which is probably why it was a sacred food.
Not to make a Disney reference, but there's the fishing hook. Look at the, by the way, this is cool. So this is Hawaiian wood, but they actually sent it to Minnesota to craft these. And apparently this was the majority of the cost in purchasing these buildings were these displays. I mean, they're really pretty.
The reason why it's kind of structured the way that it is, because in Hawaiian culture they operated in like realms. The bottom floor where we're at represents the sea. The second floor represents the realm where like people lived and did their daily life, and then the third floor represents like the distant mountains where they believed the gods roamed.
Reading one of those placards, it talks about how the gods were never actually seen by the people. So these were all just interpretations of what they thought their deities would look like. And so if they were like bird-based, they would look kind of bird-esque, and vice versa. So the people never saw the deities. These are just their interpretations of them, of what they thought they would look like. Huh. This big display on the first floor. This apparently is a model of the first sacrificial temple. I'm going to shoot to the other side in a second, but you can see it seems like there's a lot of space. I wonder what kind of scale this is. Because there's just a lot of open space. Is that for people to congregate? We need some more of the information here. More interesting facts about this model. It was actually made in 1902. So this was crafted in 1902. And this was one of the last remaining sites when they got rid of human sacrifice. This was one of the last ones to be remaining before they got rid of it. And that was because the one king decided to outlaw human sacrifice. But look how big it is. And they have their idols over here. Look at that, that's cool. The detail on this is pretty neat too. I wonder what it's made out of. You can't touch it, so obviously I don't know, but the rocks and stuff look really good. More than just sacrifices took place here too. You could leave offerings for the gods too and things at those areas. I don't know if I want to go to a place where they're sacrificing people to leave offerings though. Just a personal decision there. The ceiling on this first floor has like a massive whale. Look at that. That is so cool. Then you got some sea turtles over here. Manta rays. And there's birds too. Not sure where the water ends and the sky begins, because those turtles seem like they're above the water, if that bird is also here. Underneath the whale there's a shark, and then there's some tuna over here. Look at those fish. And then they have one of the boats. I love the architecture inside of here too. The arches, they're all made out of wood. Those beautiful columns. I mean, this is grandiose for sure, but gorgeous. Oh, some more fish. I'm not sure. Are those like red snapper? No, they kind of look like a catfish. It talks about how the deities actually had their own months, so each one had their own month. And some of these totems would be carried around the island in the hopes that the deity would inhabit it, but it would take certain chants and rituals to get them to do so. I like that one. He's really cool. That is really cool looking. I wonder how long it took them to actually carve these, because that is really well done. Macy just found out something interesting about this statue. What was it that you found out?
There's only 3 that remain. There's him, and then there's one in the British Museum in London, and then there's one in Salem, Massachusetts.
This talks us about the homestead. So apparently families had multiple houses to do like specific needs. Like there was a men's house where the men's would meet, eat, and maintain the family affair. Cooking houses. The women's house during times of menstruation was where the family slept together. There's one where they all slept together. Huh. So they might not be entirely closed either. Some were open on some of the sides. Interesting. That's really cool. This is one of the houses. This would be the sleeping house. It's kind of interesting how low the door is. It's kind of hard to see through the camera, but I would say it's only 4 foot maybe up. And you can see them making it. And that's the inside, so you kind of like crawl in. That's where everyone would sleep. You can see it fairly good in the camera. There we go. You can see the inside of the shelter. It's pretty cool. Look at that. It's not very big either, but that's where all the family would sleep. And from the outside, it's not big. Here's kind of what it looks like split apart. That's really neat. So that basically, oh, I'm sorry. This kind of looks like it or the Thing from Addams Family up close, but That's what it looks like. Inside. That's really cool. That's really cool work, how they tie each piece of wood. What did you just find out?
There is a statue of one of the gods, Kui, and he's the god of war. And if you watch Chief of War, you'll see a lot of them talk, and they actually have that head in one of the cases that you see in the show that they carry around. But anyways, he was found in the early 1900s. They brought him here, and they've tried for decades to find another spot for him, but quote unquote, he refuses to be moved from where he's at.
So these are some family guardians for somebody's house? If you watch that show on Netflix, this is the chief's actual helmet. And then there's his cloak that he wears. It's apparently on loan from New Zealand. He is the one that took on James Cook and defeated him. This is his actual items on loan from New Zealand. These are relics. Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See it, like, up close after we watched the first 4 episodes yesterday.
This is saying that there was around 1 million people who lived off the land and sea at one point. That's impressive to have just these things and being able to sustain like thousands of people. 1 million. Wow. That kind of blows my mind. I didn't think that was the population. These are sling stones. So we were talking about in the episodes last night. We're wondering what they actually put in the slings. That's what they look like. That's cool. So this lei was created by Queen Kape'olani, and she basically collected the shells along her travel from different peoples, and she made the lei out of it. That's a cool way to make it.
They mentioned Kona. I was on Kona the other day.
Here's one of the canoes from the top. We showed it from the bottom a little bit ago. It's apparently one of the most prized pieces of their equipment because it was so important to them. I can't imagine taking one of these to like a different island or something. A painting of the Battle of the Red Mouth Gun, where they used the boats. Apparently they carried 8 people max. That's crazy to think that carried 8 people.
Yeah, and they had different types of canoes. So they had racing canoes, they had war canoes, and then they had more seaworthy canoes that kind of transported more people and goods across the islands.
We're at a display about the medicine of the island, and something interesting is everything was 5 treatments because you had 5 parts to your body. So not more than 5, not less than 5, but just 5. And that's how they would do healing. Some different tools that they would use. Fascinating. I'm gonna look into what these... different types of leis that you can make. That's really cool. When we went to the botanical gardens, we actually saw some of these. And then these are some like necklaces and bracelets right here. This talks about some of those necklaces. Apparently, a chief would have one made out of a tooth of a whale. Can you imagine taking down a whale? Wow. One more necklace. You can tell that's like, I don't know, it kind of looks paper-esque. I was going to say, it kind of looks like teeth, too. Fascinating. Looking over the information, so this 116 is boar's tusk. A lot of these are turtle shell at the bottom. These are the whale tooth ones. These ones up here are whale teeth. That's dog and dog. I was wondering what they were. In the show, they show them a lot, and I was like, what are those? Because they're too small to be shark. And then this is some kind of, this would be somehow frozen and have like a scent to it too. This is called pandarus fruit, so it's got like a smell to it, so it would make them smell good. Some traps. So there's a trap for fishing. There's a hook. Look how they made the hook. It's like out of almost like a tooth. And then there's a different style of hook. Fascinating. They give you a demonstration of how to use some of the. Some other pieces of their touch exhibit. Here's the spear. Look at how long that is. That's a musical instrument.
This is the guitar over
Ah.
there. It's heavy. The mortar is really heavy. They basically like beat it.
This display talks about how with the mats, only one person could actually make them because no two hands are the same and they would come out uneven or looking weird. So basically one person had to start this and finish it. Look how big it is. It's actually rolled up. That's a good amount of time to make this product. Some of the weapons of war.
That one's the number one's a shark tooth weapon.
Oh, so this is a shark tooth, okay.
The number 4 is said to have been collected on Captain Cook's 3rd voyage.
Huh.
Number 5 is with aha brain to attach it to the waist. Interesting. 6 is a swordfish bill.
Huh.
7 is used together with the net in predatory warfare, especially on the island of Kauai.
Okay.
And then it just kind of talks about where those are just wooden clubs that they made, and like what island they were kind of from. And then 19, yeah, those down there. They're the teeth of cattle bone, replicated the teeth of the great white shark.
Huh.
So they used cattle bones and they replicated great white sharks. And then 23, that big one down there, it's like one of those largest seeds, I think, or something. It looks like that big, large seaweed held at the botanical garden.
Yeah.
It was used to damage a canoe in ocean combat.
A little bit of strobing light from the exhibit, but that's sledding right there. So they had this sled, which is right here. And they would sled down the mountains. That's really cool.
And that's one of the first surfboards.
Oh, and that's one of the first surfboards, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Some different stones that they use to work different things. Look at that. The human teeth in this piece. Look at that. And look at the ability to do that. It's impressive, making that face on the stick. Shows some of the tools they would use too. If you ever wondered what the Hawaiian diet was, here's some idea of some of the different fruits and vegetables, meats. What are you gonna say?
I did a little research last night. There were a lot of foods that men could eat that women could not eat for a very long period of time, and some of that included taro, bananas, sugar cane, certain types of pork, and I forgot what the last one was, but it was basically only limited to men.
Some different hooks and stuff, but the bottom ones are actually weights for octopus lure, 24. Different strings. Look at these different hooks. And there's even smaller ones over there.
Some of them were made out of mother of pearl.
Just different sizes for everything.
One of the interesting things I think I found reading about the leis and like how they created, especially like the floral ones, is they would basically go up into the mountains, collect what they were going to create their leis out of, and like basically become one with the lei, and the lei would become a part of you, and that just sounds like a really pretty experience. There's the other post. This is on the 3rd floor.
Yeah, that's the 3rd floor post that we talked about earlier. Different designs. Really cool. Another shot of that whale from the third floor. We'll show you from the other side. It's actually like taken apart so you can see what they look like inside. That is really cool. Check out this huge mural. It's on the third floor right over the stairs. It's gorgeous. We're getting to displays about kind of how Hawaii became a state and like the current day of it. But I was looking at this, and this is the items that were sold on the island. So that's a coral cameo earring and necklace set in a box. That's cool looking. You know? And there's a coin purse. That shell is a coin purse. Matchbox. Some paperweights. Glass mosaic earrings. It used to only cost like $199 to come to Hawaii and stay. That's definitely changed. Here's a brochure from 1899. Our new colonies, the Hawaiian Islands. Fascinating. This talks about the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy. And how basically people were meeting in secret, British and American people. And America basically sends the USS Boston to Honolulu in 1893. And that's when the Queen decided to yield to the superior force of the United States of America to not hurt her fellow Hawaiians. Some of the coins from the 1880s to the 1890s. Some of the money that they would use. It's pretty neat. Rice fields. Check out the inside of the whale. Look how massive it is. I mean, that is so cool. The scale of it is hard to portray on the film, but it is massive. Some of their longer spears. Look at that. And there's some in the case, too. If you're watching the Apple show, here's a painting of the last stand of that previous king. That wouldn't be his last stand. It would be the other king's last stand. Some really neat wood carvings. Poison god is this guy. I wouldn't want to mess with him. There's another. That's the poison god again. This is a wood image of Keala'aiu. And I know that was really bad. You know. Family guardian. Another poison god. Interesting. The family garden one is pretty basic, I guess is the best way to put it. There's not much detail to it. It's really simple. Closer up of our sea turtle friends. This ship model's pretty neat. It's of the Hawaii Laoe. I'm sure I butchered that too. My apologies again. But it's a really cool boat. Look at that. It's a pretty decent size.
That's cool.
And it's interesting the different techniques. If you look at like European, Spanish shipbuilding versus this, it's a different strategy. It's another deity image. It's again interesting what I was talking about earlier. Some of them are very well defined, very well carved out. Some of them are more basic. This definitely falls in the more basic category.
And you also wonder like how weathered they were.
And true, yeah, specifically for this one, like how weathered it was.
They're really cool looking.
Heading into the picture gallery. Apparently this was one of the first displays in the Bishop Museum. They only had 3 displays, and this was one of them. You'll see. It's not very big. First picture is Diamond Head from Waikiki. That's beautiful. Check out the leaves one. We saw some of these at the Nature Preserve earlier this week. So what's this, Nacy?
This is a view of Pearl Harbor sometime in the mid-1800s.
Pearl Harbor in the 1800s. I wonder how often through history they saw eruptions. Can you imagine just being on the island and all of a sudden it erupts?
Yeah, a whole god dedicated to it.
Yeah, they had a whole deity dedicated to it. Here's a picture of the valley. If you've watched some of the driving videos so far of our first day, this is what it would look like prior to all that development. A little difficult to see with the lighting, but Thomas Edison making an appearance. They're basically recordings of information. 1877. So they're sound recordings from back in the day. Look at that eruption.
So the top one is by day and that one's by night.
Oh, so the top one is supposedly what it looked like at daytime and the bottom one is at night. These big fellas are slit drums. That's really cool. So they're actual drums. Huh. Voices of the ancestors. So they have a Maui informational thing. So Maui, thought big, he is known as almost every Pacific island. He is the cultural hero, voyager, fisherman, storyteller, monster slayer, creator of islands large and small, and a devoted son to his mother. And he is mischievous with a great sense of humor. These pieces are one of the first actual in the collection of the Bishop Museum. So these displays were used to signify connection to the current king or ruler. And like different people in their court would have them so that people would know who they were connected to. So these are, I guess, kind of a symbol of status and recognition. And they have the most in the world with 75 different ones. This is the historic registry plate, so this is one of the historic places in the United States. Made it outside the first building. We're just kind of touring around. We stopped here. Nancy thought the lava rocks look cool. I agree. That's really neat. But there's some cool lava rocks. So this is the state bird. Nancy's going to tell us about it in a second, but they have a... It does look like a... What's that?
I said it is a descendant of the Canadian goose.
Yeah, because when we walked over here, I was like, that kind of looks like a Canadian goose. And she's like, no, it's a Hawaiian goose. So what do we know about Hawaiian gooses, Nancy?
So the Hawaiian goose
Let's see if I can trip her up, yeah.
has longer legs, less webbing, and shorter wings.
And it says that it might be able to reach both sides of the island, so it's not a very good flyer either. I wonder how it got here. I'm guessing the Canadian goose got here and then just decided to stay? Pretty much. Hey, I mean, I can understand it. I mean, look at this backdrop. Think about this without all the houses and stuff. It would be pristine and gorgeous, that's for sure. Nancy's creating an eruption. With magma. With gas. I mean, silent but deadly, I guess.
Yep, I don't think that jet's working.
I don't think that jet's working either. There you go. There you go. Sorry, the camera's having some technical issues today.
Taking it all in from over at the Children's Science Center.
It's a beautiful building. It really is.
It's really cool. And just FYE, the planetarium is not free.
Planetarium.
It's $3. If it was free, if it was included in admission, we would definitely do it, but it's not. Over there with the like colorful signage, that's where the dinosaurs are. And then back over here where we just went in, that's like the Children's Science Center, which is cool that they have that. And then kind of in this direction right here is a little garden, but it's not very green. Looks like it's still a work in progress.
And it's not very big.
But yeah, this is the Bishop Museum, yeah. I think we've pretty much done our rounds. So we'll exit through the gift shop and let you guys know our final thoughts.
Well, that concludes our exploration of the Bishop Museum.
Yeah, it was actually really fun. I have to say, I learned a lot.
Yeah, it's got a really good history to it. I loved how they laid out some of the sections. One minor complaint is like you see the artifacts, but then to actually find out what they are, you have to go all the way to the end of the case, and then there's like this little thing right there that explains what they are. It's a little difficult to see at times, so I don't feel like I learned as much as I could have, and I would have loved to learn more.
It was really cool though. They had 3 levels in like the main part. They had a few extra like separate exhibits that kind of branched off in the main house, and then they had a children's museum, so if you're coming here and you have kids, you can definitely take them and let them go play.
They got the dinosaur exhibit right now, so if you want to see the dinosaurs, I believe that's till early next year that goes, so you have a lot of opportunity to see that if you're out here, but it's a really good museum.
Yeah. So if you guys like this kind of content, make sure you give it a thumbs up.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button.
And ring that notification bell so you get notified when I do at least 3 videos a week.
And we'll come and get you all for the next one.
Ain't that the truth, baby Ruth?
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
We just want to take a moment to thank you all for watching the video. To those 90% of you guys out there watching who haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. It really helps our channel grow and reach a wider audience. And for all those other YouTube personalities that you're watching out there, I'm sure they would appreciate it as well. To those that have subscribed, thank you for tagging along with us on our journeys. We appreciate your love, support, your likes, and all those wonderful comments that we're getting to on our videos. So we look forward to taking you on our next adventure. We'll see you on the next one.